What is protective intimacy? Have you ever been taught that in order to be a good person, you have to be kind? And that what that really means is not making other people uncomfortable with, things like maybe your truth, your feelings, your ideas, your boundaries, your stories. If you're a person with a penis, have you ever heard the term happy wife, happy life? If you're a person with a vagina, have you ever been taught that your job as a woman in this culture is to take care of pretty much every other person's feelings other than your own? Have you ever kept something from the person you're in a relationship with because you were worried that you'd hurt their feelings or that they would leave you or that it would create a fight or disagreement? More than likely, you've been engaging in practices of protective intimacy in your most important relationships. And protective intimacy is a false or faux intimacy. And yet, so many of us have been taught this model as primary to our most intimate of relationships. Tragedy. Ah. Hi, I'm Natasha Helfer. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified sex therapist, and I've been working with all kinds of couples and individuals for almost 25 years. I run a group practice called Symmetry Solutions, where me and my team want to help you achieve better mental, relational, spiritual, and sexual health. And these videos are one way we're going to give you tips and strategies to do just that. Now, before I get started, I want to make sure I make it crystal clear that I'm a super big fan of being kind, being respectful, empathizing with, and considering other people's feelings, especially the feelings of those closest to us. I think sometimes the snowflake concern has gone a little too far in letting people be rude and crass and inappropriate. However, what I'm talking about is something very different, especially in marriage or primary relationships. I see so many people coming into my office on a regular basis with deeply held secrets about their behaviors, about their past, about their desires, wishes, wants, about their current feelings or struggles. Why would we keep these things from the person or persons that we love most? Usually the answer boils down to something in the department of, well, I didn't want to hurt them. We have grown up with messages about romance in particular, where we have been fed the load of crap that your better half will complete you, will get you, will accept you, and will not cause you really much discomfort at all. It will be a panacea of delight and wonder. At the beginning of relationships, this can very much be the case. After all, we are bonding with someone in all the areas we are similar. Similar tastes, similar goals, similar or complementary personality traits. I call this initial sameness bonding, and it feels great. It gets all of our hormones going in positive directions. It initiates this limerence phase, which has also been called the honeymoon period. It's an important part of relational foundations, and it holds space for aspects and tastes of intimacy, and yet it is not full blown intimacy. I'm sure you've heard the into me see framing of the word intimacy, and I love it because really intimacy, into me see, at the end of the day is really the thought process of being seen and being willing to see all of it. Not just the shiny parts that feel good or are comfortable, not just the parts that assure me or validate me or conform to me, not just the parts that feed my needs, all of it. All the warts, all the pain, all the brokenness, all the differences, all the ways that you challenge me and I challenge you. So, full intimacy isn't really possible until we start hitting up against the spaces where there is tension, disagreement, difference of opinion, difference of desire. And you're going to have to delve into much harder, yet much more rewarding aspects of long term relationships if you want to experience true intimacy. So, if we all want intimacy, which the research shows we do, why is it so hard to actually get intimacy or be intimate? My theory is that we have been taught and role modeled this protective intimacy model, which in many ways is just a fancy way to say secrecy. And yet it does offer some seductive things. There are reasons why we fall prey to this model. One, It's very good at preserving the self. If I don't tell you things that will make you uncomfortable, well, then I don't have to deal with the consequences of your discomfort, your anger, your questions, your disagreement, whatever conflict you're going to bring to the table. So I can protect myself from whatever discomfort might come from having to be real with you. Two, preservation of the relationship. If I don't tell you these uncomfortable things, the likelihood that we can stay together, be in a relationship together, and not break up or divorce is higher. Although this actually isn't true, because secrecy and being inauthentic in a relationship are big reasons why people don't find relationships sustainable in the end. Three, preservation of partner. If I don't tell you things that make you uncomfortable, I save you the pain and discomfort of having to face those things. I actually really don't want to hurt you. Although protecting may seem like a noble thing to do, it often actually leads to the very opposite of its intent. It can lead to secrecy, inauthenticity, betrayal, silence. So here we are trying to protect our partner or ourselves, and we end up doing neither. It can even lead to making decisions for your partner out of assumptions without their input or consent. I can't tell you how many times I've heard something like, well, I didn't want to tell them that I spent that much money, or, well, I didn't want to tell them I had an affair because, or, well, I decided that we should do this with our kids because I didn't want them to blank, blank, blank. This is not a space where relationships can thrive. Protecting someone from who you are, what you think, what you're experiencing, something you've done, or how you feel, it's not intimacy. It's polite superficiality, and maybe something better suited to like a diplomacy job. Not so much a marriage that wants to enjoy depth of connection. So, what is the antidote of protective intimacy? Vulnerable intimacy. This requires both parties to be safe enough. And look at my solution focused tip on cyclical safety for more information on that concept. So that there can be space for our honesties, so that there can be space for self advocacy within the context of our relationship, so that there can be space for healthy boundaries, so that there can be space for our truths and our realities and our desires and our ideas. In essence, this requires partners to one, change the model from it's your job to keep me happy to it's our job together to make space for two very unique individuals with very unique backgrounds who want to spend time in a committed relationship. Two, it requires risk to show up in vulnerable ways, which is scary. It is uncomfortable, and it is okay to be uncomfortable. Three, it takes emotional regulation. Can I work on my differentiation skills so that I can hold space for connection with you, even when complicated, difficult feelings arise, like disappointment, anger, confusion, hurt, disagreement? Four, it requires boundaries, which include negotiation. So we need to be able to come up with decisions or behaviors where we can both say, this is okay or not okay with me, and why. And is there any room for negotiation in between? It also can include negotiation for spaces, like this is a good time or not a good time to talk about this. Five, it requires the practice of the willingness of the golden rule. If I want to be accepted, can I be accepting? If I want honesty, can I manage honesty and can I offer it in return? If you can grab onto this new model, it will make a world of difference in the ways that you can show up with one another, and also in the satisfaction and the sustainability of your relationship. And this will affect almost every aspect of your relationship together. It will affect how you can be emotionally intimate, financially intimate, sexually intimate, in a parenting partnership, spiritually or religiously, intellectually. Try it. Try being real in your most real relationship. This has been a solution-focused tip coming at you from yours truly, Natasha Helfer. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get notified when I post the next one. I plan on posting a tip every week or two. Thanks a lot and see you next time. And make sure you check out the links below in case you want to know how to contact our team for additional help or resources.